I'm busier than a high-priced whore at an electronics convention. Right now, I'm in Valdosta, Georgia, for the annual folk festival in Jelly-Off. I'm supposed to be judging art, etc. Who are you? What do you want about? Come on.
Well, I'm Old Swerdlow, and this is the Ozark Mountain tradition, the song story.
I'll decide what it's called, old. Just make with the art.
Well, all righty. Let's get Limberlegs on up there. Oh, Limberlegs went walking down to old Miller's Creek, and when he saw that big old cow, he jumped back in the sink. Oh, Limberlegs, where you going?
All right, now stop that, old, stop it. I'm very sorry you had to see this, folks. Now, Mr. Limberlegs ain't wearing no clothes. I find myself to be aroused and titillated by all this.
Well, Senator, this is a tradition as old as a Georgia sunset.
Shut up, old. David, you see what I have to contend with? I got a naked puppet doing a lewd, lascivious fandango on the lap of a full-grown man. I got women over here dipping candles. Fella over there, he's got a butter churn. It's like a pioneer pawn shop in here. Close it down, boys. Close them down.
Senator, you're getting a little right. No, well, that's my Limberleg.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and it's full of them. We're gonna start with hot shots. Just watch this chorus steps.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fantastic Comics Presents. Tonight, on our 83rd consecutive episode, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, 2 for the price of 1. We have not 1, but 2 guests. Will they be here at the same time? I don't know, but it's going to be a fun time, so stick around. Who are those guests? I'll tell you in a second. In fact, you know what? This is the tonight's show. Oh, dang, the mukbang. I totally forgot. I'll have to try and get that up. I'm running a little late, if you can believe it. I didn't work today, but It still came up on me. What do you know? This is the first day that Fantastic Comic. Oh yeah. Hey everybody. Welcome to the show. For those of you that don't know, my name is Yule. I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. Let's see if I can find that right here. We are no longer open Tuesday through Saturday, but now open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. Thought I fixed that. Well, like I told you, I'm running late. Anyway, I have a buddy that's going to come in. He's going to talk to you about, we're going to talk about wrestling, if you can believe it. And we're also going to talk about his podcast that he does. And we want to let people know about it. So if you are a fan of podcasts, and why would you be? Let's do this before we get any further. Let's do this.
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? First up, we had Fantinuum here. Yo, what's going on? 18. Oh, wait. Naughtiest Maximus. Yes, Naughtiest Maximus. ATN Crusoe's here. Yo, how's it going? Oh, Courtney. We're going to talk about Nia Jax in just a moment if you're still here. Is Rick Worley one of the guests? No, he is not one of the guests. We'll have him on at another time. Joby Pill's in the other room. LK's here. Yo, LK, how's it going? Joe with numbers. People talking to each other. Mr. Show, one of my all-time favorites, of course. Let's see here. What else? Best comedy sketch. I don't know. Mitchell and Webb. I'm embarrassed. I watch a lot of TV, but a lot of times it's streaming stuff. So if it doesn't come across my net, come under my nose, my purview, if you will. What are we? We are a show that talks about comics that are coming out. We are a show that talks to people about comics that are coming out or comics that already came out. Sometimes it's creators of comics. And most importantly, it is from a store owner's point of view. And as of a few days ago, I am now the sole employee of Fantastic Comics because my brother had to go and do something else. And so I am learning all the ins and outs that I didn't know before on top of everything that I already did so poorly. And let's see if I can do it. Should be pretty interesting. Yeah, I agree. Sundays, I hope Sundays is going to be an improvement overall for everybody that want to come into the store and spend money, of course. He did get a job. He got a job. He'll be starting real soon. So he's making videos so that I can follow the patterns that I need to do in order to make the store run the way it ran. And maybe I'll be on it a little bit more, and it can only help, right? So that's the stuff that's going on with Fantastic Comics in a selling comic book world. Like I said, we're open Wednesday through Sunday now, 12 to 5. The 12 to 5 on Sunday is negotiable, so make sure you come in. All right, that's enough local. One last thing. We got our comics in. Woo! This opening on Wednesday instead of Tuesday is helpful if you want to make sure you have all the comics on the same day, at least, because we would not have had DC on Tuesday anyway. So I think it worked out. I don't know. Either that or I might be saying something like this.
Job, instead of always coming to me, asking me for money, saying, I've made a huge mistake, you can bail yourself out next time.
I've never admitted to a mistake.
That's right. I've never admitted to a mistake either. Jill can tell you. Just ask her. All right. Hey, anybody want to talk about some comics with people? We're also going to talk about some wrestling. So hold on a second. We're going to get through the whole thing. It'll be real fun. I guarantee it. But first, I have to play this.
The sun comes up and down each day.
It is happening again. It is happening again.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Max, how's it going, buddy?
Oh man, great intro. Thank you for that. Hey everybody, good to see y'all.
Max, for those of you that don't know, is a customer of Fantastic Comics, and he has ingratiated himself into my store's life. We're pals, don't you say?
I'd say we're bosom buddies for
Yeah.
sure. Fast friends.
It's all at the store. I mean, obviously, it's a hub where we can all, it's a coffee store.
Well, right when we started becoming fast friends, a little thing called coronavirus really blew up.
That's right.
Kind of a little bigger,
everything.
A little bigger than our friendship. We were gonna have a huge party, and then just the day of, that was the day everything shut down. Remember that?
Yeah, it was. We were gonna have a lot of people over. We were hoping
I was
to
so pumped.
Really do fun stuff and sell stuff and just
one more day. If only they had if the NBA just lasted one more day, I think.
If that dude, who was it that was like licking the microphones and everything?
Oh, fuck.
I don't remember who that was, but maybe somebody in chat remembers. He's like, and putting his hands on everything, and then
Dude, just
you find out he's got it.
Just like it's a lot like Anne of Green Gables. Just like How's Your Father?
Mm-hmm.
It says it right there. Yes,
I am not an Anne of Green Gables aficionado.
Are you an anime of Green Gables aficionado?
No, I've never delighted in that either.
I bet there's an anime adaptation of Anne of Green Gables.
Well, they definitely make. I think they do a manga of it.
Oh yeah, they have to. Everything's been mangafied at this point.
Well, there's a lot of the Jane Austen stuff and like I can't think of who the other people are. Maybe a Dickens
Shakespeare.
One,
there's definitely some
that,
Shakespeare stuff. There's probably like 10 Romeo and Juliets in manga form.
So
actually, wait, there wasn't an anime of Anne of Green Gables. Thank you.
There you go. Was it an anime or a real hokey cartoon?
Sometimes
I guess it all goes through Korea eventually. So
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Right. All right. So for those of you, some of the conversation that we have at the store, Max, is about comic books, but a lot of times it's about wrestling also.
Oh, totally.
Totally. Is there wrestling that you actually watch right now?
Me? These days it's hard to, I got a little baby at home, so it's kind of hard to keep up. Sometimes it's wrestling, sometimes it's just like flashing lights. I mean, we were talking the other day. I watch AEW because you might see like a murder on television, and that's just something. That's a story you tell your grandparent or your grandkids. So,
funny enough, though, last night we almost saw a murder. Definitely, we almost saw a mugging.
Oh, you think so?
Well, it looks like it. We can get into that in a moment, but
well, you want to just go from the top with that?
Yeah. So I have some videos that I've pulled aside, and I want to give people a little bit of a taste of what we're watching.
Well, like I said, so I'm watching some AEW. I watch NXT because I got some of my favorites over there. I watch Raw if someone tells me to watch something. And my buddy texted me last night. He's like, "Yo, did you see Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair?" He's like, "Holy shit." And I was like, "Oh man, what happened?" And he starts being like, "I think someone seriously got hurt. I think someone's gonna get killed. This is real." Yeah, exactly. And it was like, did you see that movie Minari that was nominated for an Oscar?
Mm-mm.
It was a good movie. I don't know if anyone saw it. Shout out in the comments if you saw it. But there's a great grandma, and she's always watching pro wrestling, and it takes place in like the 70s. So she's watching like Dick Murdoch and stuff on the TV. And she's like, "Oh my God, someone could get killed. Someone's going to get killed." And it was great. I love seeing that. And that's what my buddy's like, because he gets worked so hard by the actual wrestling itself, but he's one of these smart fans. And he
knows when contracts are up. He knows when there's heat behind people backstage.
Oh my God. But he cannot tell when the wrestlers are just like fucking with him right in front of him on TV
Right.
just by having a stiff match.
They did have a stiff match. The problem with this match is, and let me give a little of an introduction to those of you that don't know. Nia Jax, the bigger woman of the two, and I mean
our new queen,
not Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter.
No,
the
Charlotte's out. Nia's
she's
in.
out now. It's Nia all the way. Nia is known as being a very sloppy wrestler, and she has hurt people in the past. And
no one that didn't
even when she isn't at fault, she doesn't take care of the person like a professional or a veteran would, you know.
Would you
a veteran would never hurt somebody.
I just want you to know, are you going to apply the same logic to like a Big Van Vader match? Like Big Van Vader, that's what I was thinking of when I was watching the match. I'm like, she's throwing Charlotte Flair around, but no worse than like watching like a Vader match when he used to like.
We don't expect you're right. Vader was awesome. He brought a realism and he was snug sometimes. Other times, his most vicious move, the Vader bomb, one of the softest. He wouldn't hurt a marshmallow
because he was a big marshmallow.
But those hands, he looked like a bear.
I'm talking when he would run you into the turnbuckle and you see that guy's head snap back. That looked bad. I'm not going to pretend to know what looks like it hurts, what doesn't. It's just, yeah. Now,
yes. I mean, if you're not up to snuff, it's going to hurt. Totally. I'm talking about people that are up to snuff, you know.
Someone's reminding of the last time Nia Jax was like a big deal on TV when she was
my hole,
which is funnier than
she did a my hole spot too in this match.
Funnier than anything I've seen on wrestling in forever was that one little bit. She just, and again in this one, they didn't have to do any flippy stuff, and people were like up in arms. It was like Ox Baker with the heart punch.
Again, we're talking about men though, and we are not accustomed to seeing ladies put their hands on each other quite this way, even in the independents.
That's great.
And if it is, it's an accident.
Alexa Bliss is going to be the next one squashed.
She's the one that does the, oh, you hurt my arm thing because she's like double jointed. She doesn't, if she bleeds, it's not on purpose.
I don't think I've ever, yeah. I don't even think
so
okay, go.
Early in the match.
All right.
This is just kind of what people were watching.
Irresistible force, but now the Queen. Oh, out of the referee's view. Handful of hair. Oh, my. Blatant disrespect by the Queen.
Even the fans saw that right there.
It's good.
It is good. But she slaps her upside the head. That's very demeaning, you know? And wrestling is such a wonderful sport. It's a wonderful job because think about it. I don't necessarily have to like the person I'm against, and I get to actually physically assault them.
and it helps sell.
It can, because one of the things I always felt about Nia Jax was that she never emoted properly. She is a person that should be very fierce and angry, and I'm going to kill you all the time. And a lot of times she's just not. And it's not just because of storylines, it's just because.
I think she's hungover a lot.
That might be, but I don't know.
She looks like
she goes out to parties, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's all the makeup she puts on. I have no idea. But I always felt that there was a movie back in the 80s called The Main Event. And the way they get the boxer to get ready to fight is she kind of dumps ice in his pants. And he gets so upset, he goes and beats the guy up. Well, that's what I always felt Nia needed. And even more than that, I always said she needed like a nipple twist just backstage before she got on. A real hard one, too. And I think that's exactly what Charlotte does in that slap. And then here we go. Here's a little bit more.
Could the Queen meet the same fate as Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley earlier in the night? Oh!
That was a Vader. That was like what I'm talking about with Vader.
Who screwed up there? I think Charlotte was supposed to go over the ropes, so I think that was Charlotte's fault there.
I mean, I don't know. It just looked like a hard hit. I don't know.
It did look like a hard hit, but that's something that Nia doesn't normally do.
But the match kept going. Match didn't stop. Match didn't whatever. It was just, you know, that wasn't Matt Hardy getting his face busted open.
Right. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. I got a ton of these, by the way, so you can... I mean, I know you don't know what's going to happen, but when we get to the good stuff, you'll know. All right, so next up.
At SummerSlam, victorious in a triple threat match against Rhea Ripley and Nikki A.S.H. Her confidence right now, sky high. That could be leading to some of these.
All right, that's where I think things started going a little weird on everybody.
Why is that? It looked like just
because that headlock wasn't serving any purpose and ultimately served no purpose, and she had to cinch it on longer, and it was no rest hold. Like they were trying to work out what they were supposed to do, and I think Nia probably, because she's not as veteran as Charlotte, probably was not on the same page. That's what I'm guessing.
I don't know.
All right, I'm building to whether or not we're working or not. Okay.
Her and Shayna Baszler, their tag team partnership, some miscommunications. She may be trying to exert her dominance.
She's doing a really good job acting. I think that headlock, though, Charlotte was cinching it on just a little bit real. Because that's an attention to detail that you don't always see with Nia Jax.
But do you think there's a good chance that they were just like, yo, let's go out there and let's kind of like rough each other up a little bit. Let's sell it a little,
Right.
Because when you just look at there's just been a bad streak of women's wrestling on TV lately, mainly in the other company, but also the whole Eva Marie, Alexa Bliss thing. That was, as a person who can excuse some comedy wrestling now and then, that was just one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen two adults have to do.
When we're talking about AEW, a company that doesn't, I don't know, I think their thing that for the most for me is that they don't fulfill their the hope or the promise that they suggest that they're going to have. But WWE, what they do is just some straight up stupid stuff. I mean, things that even kids will roll their eyes at.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. A lot of times that
I just don't get a lot of time to watch some of this crap these days. So just
so it's a lot of times YouTube type stuff and whatnot.
I see it when I see it on the SummerSlam. I can say that's dumb, and it looks like it's been a couple weeks of dumb when it comes.
All right, I'm gonna do two more.
Two more. Let's go
before we get to the big stuff.
This has been a brutal match inside the ring, outside the ring, gamesmanship, tactics. We've seen everything.
Oh my God! Nasty landing.
All right, that was the first one where most people are talking about it. They're like, that's where Charlotte's pissed off.
Didn't look that bad from the other angle.
I don't think it looked that bad. But there was another one also where Charlotte's foot hit the ground when she was getting slammed back.
She's just
selling.
That
was a little funky also.
People just aren't used to people selling stuff. That's my other theory, is that this is kind of like a slow TV match. It's not like a great match by any means, but it takes up a bunch of TV time. Some shit happened. People were talking about it. And I don't know. They've stopped and they were like, ow, that kind of hurt. As opposed to like, oh, I got powerbombed through a table on the outside. And now I'm doing laps around the ring,
Right. All right. Next up.
Big boot from Charlotte Flair connects.
We're desperately looking to take advantage here against Nia Jax. But
Jax just, must have got an adrenaline dump there.
Love it.
All right. What was that first part? I'm going to show you again.
I got distracted by the comments, by the great comment of
look at Charlotte with the headlock thing.
Big boot from Charlotte Flair connects.
We're desperately looking to take advantage here against.
What is that?
It's kind of a little bit of sandbagging. I hadn't noticed that on the TV.
I don't know what the hell it was, but then she gets up and then she slaps her, and people are like, that's a lot of what people are talking about. When they say,
all right. I'm just
pissed off.
I missed
right,
something.
Let me show you something from the past.
What are you going to do? Answer, I don't care.
All right. That's something that happened. Yeah, one of those shocking things. And I love Alicia Fox in that situation. Now look at Nia.
Look at this. This is getting ugly. 1, 2.
I love it. That was good. You know what I mean? Like, give me a little bit of reality in it. They get pissed off at each other mid-match. Hey, there's a good chance they don't like each other. I don't like a bunch of my coworkers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Well, no, I mean, it's tough. When you got a lot of coworkers, you can't get along with everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So
all right, so here the plot thickens here.
So, look at this. No effect whatsoever.
When she's like, don't, that feels real. You know, that's like one of those don't even, type things. And what does she do? She does this.
Flair does not have an answer for Nia. Nia's going to maul the queen.
It is not pretty. These are two ladies who absolutely cannot stand each other.
Byron knows because him and Nia Jax were tight. So he's like, he let that slip a little bit.
And then the last move. Here's your last one. I don't think it's that bad, but people, again, talking.
Pose her will all the way up. This could do it if... Uh-oh. That's got to be it. That has got to be it.
I thought that was hard. Yeah, that was fucking.
That was a little rude also, because I think Raquel Gonzalez does that move too.
Oh, yeah.
So, not cool.
Hey, you know what?
And that's the match, everybody.
That match won me over as a Nia Jax fan. You know what I mean? Give me a little bit of... Make it hard, make people scared again. Yeah.
Max, can you talk on this? I'll see your Eva Marie versus Alexa Bliss and raise you Ty Conti versus the Bunny.
Well, here's the thing. Eva Marie
finally we can rip on this stuff.
Eva Marie versus Alexa Bliss, at least right off the bat it's going to be like a clown show. You know what I mean? But like Ty Conti versus the Bunny, when you put it like your second match on your 3-match program, which I will tell you that I'll start with a compliment for Rampage. I just like that time slot. I just like I don't know. I kind of like a 1 hour wrestling. Maybe it's the more 1 hour wrestling. It made me feel like nostalgic for the Sunday Night Heat days. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
Well, it's already there, but
maybe before a pay-per-view.
I don't. It was just Ty Conti versus. I'm sure it was just a. I was a little more. I was upset at the tag team match beforehand, because it just ended with the referee was just literally he looked like a maestro conducting the super kicks back and forth and back and forth. It was just bad. Ty Conti versus the Bunny wasn't there. Oh, there was a bunch of brass knuckles and stuff like that, and. Yeah. Oh, the Bunny is Ty Conti's not fine, but the Bunny was really bad.
Ty Conti is fine. She's awfully small. I mean, there's only so many of. We have in the WWE. We are seeing so many larger performers that even in the women's division, that even if they pretty much are boxed into a certain type of shape, even still they are bigger. Like I said, Raquel Gonzalez and even Dakota Kai, who's like a twig. She's even like taller than a lot of the women outside of WWE.
Give me physically impressive people. You know what I mean? I can't see how big your love of wrestling is, but I can see how big your muscles are. And if you love wrestling so much that you're gonna get fucking huge, then cool, good, that's awesome. So that's I'm kind of pro big guy at this point. I'm in the pro big guy camp.
Really? I'm such a Bret Hart guy that's not really.
There's always space for those people. There's always going to be space, and then those people stand out more, and they're more special, and that's why CM Punk was cool, because he was like, on the smaller side of things. That's why you like those guys, and that's why you want to root for them and see them in a match. Are they going to win every match? No, but no one should win every match.
Right. So to finish up on Nia Jax, your favorite wrestler now?
Oh yeah, my new queen.
She's willing to step up to Charlotte Flair and take on the challenge that
is
a work shoot, shoot work.
Give her the belt. Let her run wild.
Hey man,
have her be a monster heel. The era of the monster heel is back. I hope.
All right, I am putting in chat Max's link bio thing.
Link in bio. This is. Can I?
Why am I showing this to them?
My new podcast.
You have a podcast?
I have a podcast. It's about anime. I don't know if anyone out here likes anime. I don't even like anime that much. I have like
wait. You don't like anime?
I like anime. I don't have a specific attachment to it. so I feel like I can talk about it and I can rip on it and I can have some fun with it.
Okay.
So Anime Death Ray, if you're a fan of like shows like How Did This Get Made, or like We Hate Movies, or one of those fun shows where some dudes watched something and they're gonna riff on it for you for a little bit, half hour ish. Sometimes we flirt with the 45-minute to an hour, depending.
Now, what kind of anime material are you doing? Or is this all like tentacle porn and stuff?
The strange and obscure. So I'll tell you, our first episode, we have 2 episodes out right now. First one is Monster Rancher, which I believe is the most infamous. I guess I take that back. Digimon is the most successful of the like Pokemon knockoffs, but Monster Rancher is the weirdest. Yeah, I'm not what LK said. I like anime. I'm not a fanatic. I can't say, I'm not going to watch every episode of something unless it's really good, but I'll give anything the time of day. And I like how freewheeling and creative it is. It's like no one says no to an idea, if that makes sense. Which, I mean,
No,
I feel like a lot of comic books and stuff these days and wrestling, there's a lot of editorialization and focus groups and stuff like that. Whereas sometimes just spontaneity brings wonderful creativity, and that's where anime is at. But at the same time, sometimes it's so bad that you just can't help but make fun of it and laugh at it. And some of it's so ridiculous that it's just like, whoa. So we watched Monster Rancher, which is like a really freaking dumb kids cartoon, but pretty fun. And then all right. Here's how I'll describe it. My co-host Chris and myself, we're like your buddies, and you're sitting in on a class that's about anime. And I'm kind of like the funny guy, maybe kind of want him to shut up a little bit sometimes. But Chris is like the smart guy who knows some shit, and you're like kind of copying his test sometimes, but he's still funny and cool. And he's actually secretly like more punk rock than fucking anyone else in the whole class, but he's getting an A. You know that guy? He's kind of like a troublemaker, but he's still getting really good grades. Gotta watch out for those kids. So oh my god, so getting a lot of wacky stuff. I feel like there's so much anime to plumb from because some of it's ridiculous. It's like they'll give 12 episodes to any idea, and like I said, no one says no. So our first season consists of 10 episodes. Next week, so first episode we did Monster Rancher. Second episode we did Baki. Sound off in the comments if you've heard of Baki. It is Baki is like you remember those canon action films? They're like really over the top, a lot of Charles Bronson stuff, super bloody, and it's just a bunch of ugly dudes like killing each other.
Right.
That's what Baki is, but it's about like a teenage martial artist who breaks legs and necks and limbs and stuff. And everyone looks like a California raisin, but they grew the rest of the body. That makes sense?
All right, let's see here.
Grappler Baki, exactly. Yeah, Grappler Baki's been around for
LK's familiar. Storyboards is excellent. Have you done your episode of redo of Healer yet?
No, but I'm gonna put it in my notes.
And we also have an Apocalypse Zero request.
Apocalypse Zero, yeah. The wackier the better. I'll a couple random episodes we talk about this season. We talk about what's some of the more obscure ones. Okay, we watch Ocean Waves. Has anyone seen Ocean Waves? It's probably the most obscure of those Studio Ghibli films. And then Genocyber might have been my favorite episode. Has anyone seen Genocyber? Sounds like Genocider, and that's kind of what it's about. And it is like the most fucked up anime that your creepy cousin brought over someday on VHS, and you watched it with him.
I'm sorry, I should have led with this rather than the wrestling.
It's okay.
But now we're starting to pick up a little
bit. But now there's more people here, so that's good.
There were more before.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Oh, and just in time for our next guest. And I don't know how long you're going to be able to stick around.
But check us out. Hold on. Check us out. Anime Death Ray on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple to come. But give us a rate, review, a like, subscribe. Follow us in your hearts. Instagram, I'm posting cool anime stuff every day. So you're that.
And like I said, the links in the there'll be a link at the end of the show in the description, just like there is for Jimmy's show.
I'll be hanging out too.
Yeah, hold on just a moment. I'm gonna play this.
So I'm returning them now. It's pretty hot.
Jimmy,
bro,
how's it going?
That intro
I clip
was
people's
dope.
shows and I use it for my shows so that I can take a break. So
that was dope, bro. I made that look good.
I'll tell you what, I can see why you don't have as much content because you're doing all those shots.
Well, you know how awkward it is going into comic stores being like, yeah, I'm in a film class. They want me to make some weird videos, totally lying out of my ass to make it less awkward.
No, that was a really fun video. I love that opening bit because I'm like, you're going to your comic store and there's all this stuff, the preamble, and then it's hot out there. Very funny. Good timing. I liked it. For those of you at home that don't know who Jimmy is, Jimmy, you have a YouTube channel. Tell me about yourself.
I don't know where to start. I just started watching YouTube videos like Ash on Comics, and I don't know, it's just some random other YouTube channels because they were talking about comics, and then I was like, hey, you know what? I should do that. And then it took me a while, and I finally figured out how to do it, got some good equipment, and then now I'm making some bangers.
Oh, bangers.
Up late in the studio all night, just riding hard.
Dude, I did a comic book Jeopardy with Skip and Tosh, Joe Corallo, Bill from Comic Book University. It took me, I'm not even joking, 7.5 hours to cut down a 2-hour video to 22 minutes. It's still so much fun though. Even during it, I'm just wait till people see how good this is.
I heard the former producer of Jeopardy's is looking for a job right now, so maybe you can get him a gig. That's current events, everybody.
I think he's retired. I think he's on his private island as we speak.
That may be true. He might not have his heart in it.
Yeah, it's all good.
So Jimmy, you are brave enough to step into the world of talking about comic books so that everybody else out there can judge you. Why would you do something like that?
Because I have something called low self-esteem, and I want to impress people.
I don't know if you should start with comics. You might have wanted to do Pokemon cards or something.
Yeah, something that makes money. Anything but comics.
If you want to really impress people, play a video game.
Oh, man.
That's true. The dumber, the better.
Funny about that is, I'm actually pretty good at Call of Duty to the point where I won world's best clip of the week. And so when I won that, I was like, I'm done. I'm good.
Oh man. Those streamers, man.
All right, so now I have some people asking questions already. Yes, that was Jimmy. This is one of the things we're going to talk about just for a moment. I don't want to drag it forever. But you were the one that was dissed by Dan Slott this last week.
I'm not sure dissed is the correct word. More like just cussed at is a good one.
What?
Cyberbullied is another one.
He cussed at you?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the screenshots, but he was just first thing out of his mouth was why are these effing things on your timeline? I was like, Jesus Christ.
I fear about what's on my timeline. I mean, I try and make it all very boob centric. So
as one does.
You'd be upset with that.
Yeah. That's just is that not everyone's timeline?
I mean comic book centric.
What's
really.
what's an example of something you've said about Dan Slott that
Who, me
brought upon
personally
his-
or Jimmy?
Jimmy, yeah, I'm asking
Jimmy, what did you do to get to raise Dan Slott's ire? I've heard in the past all you have to do is just talk kind of like poorly about his performance on books.
I actually it wasn't even about comics. That he said something political.
You don't have to get specific, by the
Yeah,
way. Nobody wants it.
I mean, the screenshots are out there. Anyone can find it. But like, he said something political, and I disagreed, and I responded like politely though, like just maybe like it may be a conversation starter, and then he didn't care, and then just bringed it on for like the next week.
Damn, that is like, I believe that's a textbook definition of cyberbullying.
Now, he didn't get any of his friends to come on. Now, nobody that followed him got in on the action. It was just Dan Slott, right?
Yeah, it was just Dan Slott that messaged me, but like in the comment section though, there was like a few people on his side that didn't care about feelings.
Damn.
Now, this is all because of Twitter and allegiances that you have.
It wasn't even an allegiance. Like, he goes, you follow Comicsgate people. And I'm just like, who? And apparently, like the article that wrote about it, they named them, and I was like, I followed Douglas Ernst. I didn't know that. So,
well, when you are trying to get out there and make your name known, you have to really whore yourself out for a moment. You gotta spread yourself out there and then start fine tuning, the people that really care about what you have to say.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I assume I'm not a big Twitter guy.
Hey, I'll tell you, as a person trying to start some fledgling content creation, yeah, it's a lot of just like following and liking random people who are in your kind of wheelhouse or are just accessible sometimes.
Right.
So
and like for me, it's not even like liking or just following. I follow like conversations like on Twitter, like people talking about David Tennant. Cool, boom. And then like anytime someone brings up David Tennant, and I just get it. So like in me, like I'm pretty good at being sarcastic, and so I'm just the life of the party in the comment section apparently.
So you sound like a typical internet shit poster. And
are you a shit poster?
I don't talk shit. No,
I'm just playing.
No. You're reverential. The thing is that you were reverential to Dan Slott, right? I mean, you pretty much did what he told you to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to be that way, but
no, it's good. Like I made a video about it too, and I basically came to the conclusion I probably should have like had a little more of a backbone when it happened, but like I didn't want to end things on a bad spot. I'm very non-confrontational, so it's like I really don't want to like start an actual fight. So I always just like, all right, yeah, okay, cool. And then even after when we were just normally talking, which I was just like, hey, even if you want to come on the channel and talk about like just comics, just to show like even if two people who disagree on something can come together just for the love of comics. And then right after, boom, Comicsgate. It's like, Jesus Christ.
He slapped you with the tag.
Yeah, man.
Have you purchased things that are Comicsgate before?
No, the only thing I've backed on Indiegogo or Kickstarter is the Mike Mignola documentary funding thing they did, and because Mike Mignola is my favorite artist who ever lived, and then Fatal J's comic book Ninja Blast, and only because he's a friend, and I don't know, is he Comicsgate?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a slur that gets thrown around, and you got that slur thrown around at you. And I was just asking if you. I don't care. I mean, I've purchased all sorts of items over the course of time. I
don't go on Kickstarter or Indiegogo that much because it's like if these don't back and they don't make it, then I just wasted time, and I don't know if they keep the money or not. So I just assume that they do.
Right.
So I just go, then I lost money to as well. So I don't know that much about anything like that.
When I look at crowdfunding,
I think it's got to hit their it's got to hit a certain limit for them to, and then you get charged. But man, Kickstarter, sometimes those takes years for people to finish stuff, and you got to keep track of the stuff that you got.
I heard like a horror story of like some guy, I don't know if it was Kickstarter or Indiegogo, but one of the two, backed a umbrella-less umbrella. So instead of like the umbrella that covers you, it's just a stick, and like there's air that comes out of it to block the rain coming down. And he backed it like 5 years ago, and every day for 5 years after, like he just sent them a message. Where's it at? Where's it at?
Where's my umbrella?
Yeah, where's my umbrella-less umbrella?
I do like the sound of that. That does sound cool.
It's also a weapon if you think about it. Do you know how much power that air has to be pushed to block a crap ton of rain?
Really?
It has to be.
Oh my God! See, that's the Penguin. That's don't want Donny Cates finding out about this.
Oh,
James Tynan on his way out is the Penguin's going to have an umbrella-less umbrella.
Oh, dude, the ultimate mind fuck. It's going to question Batman's going to have to question everything he's ever done once he sees the umbrella-less umbrella.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jimmy, let me move you up here.
Hey, what?
Why is it Comics with Jimmy? Is your name Joshua? What's the deal, man?
Yeah, again, it's my name is Joshua.
This is some bad.
No, it's good. My name is
I've got
Joshua.
a different name on Twitter and a different name on Instagram, so I'm there with you. I understand.
So, by the way, I started this Twitter account like a while ago, so I just put my name before this was before I even did YouTube, and so it's Joshua, but on YouTube it's Comic Quirks with Jimmy because it was originally just Comic Quirks, and then Ash on Comics, Eric Breen, all these other different people that we know just started calling me Jimmy because I'm about to say something controversial. Okay, guys, like very controversial.
Oh my gosh! Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Hold on.
Okay, so
controversy.
I like Brian Michael Bendis' Superman. His Man of Steel, I really like. Hold up.
You got me good with that one, bro.
Hold up. I like his first 6 issues a lot. So like Man of Steel, and then the first 6 issues I like. I will stand by anyone and say they're actually really good storytelling. And I kind of like 6 through 12. I kind of like as well. Just kind of, but it's when the creaks and cracks started to show.
Jaro's slot was right.
Bro, Perch said the same thing on the Aficionados last week.
That's a cheat. That's a steal.
I don't know. I was just talking to you about how I kind of enjoyed Brian Michael Bendis all the way up to the end of his Marvel stuff. We were just talking about this on Wednesday, remember?
So did I.
Yeah, I loved his last issue on Alias, but his Superman
Iron Man was good too.
Dude, I feel like his Superman, I feel like Superman's talking down to me when I read that book for some reason.
Okay, well, anyways, I got to finish this. Otherwise, people are going to come back to it. Since I was a fan of it, they kept saying that I was I'm best friends with Bendis. I'm best friends with Superman, and they were like, "Oh wait, you're Jimmy. You're Jimmy Olsen." So
I like that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'd cast you as Jimmy Olsen.
We would often say, especially in wrestling, if there was somebody that you liked but didn't like or didn't like at all, we'd say, "Oh, there's so and so's boyfriend." Your favorite wrestler is this person. Do the same thing with comics.
Maybe the bullies were right about people who like.
Wrestling. I have to me, comic books is like, joshing with the other person about what they like. And you know what, Jimmy? You like a lot of stuff. My buddy back in the day was named George Pizarro, and he we would really rag on his comic choices, and I know you would have loved what he read at the time.
I can promise you, I could say one more thing that's probably worse, and I say it's probably my favorite run of all time.
I'm listening.
And okay, you guys ready? This is worse. Okay.
More than Hellboy, you're telling me.
I don't count that as a run because one person is the writer of it.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, all right. Continue. It's an interesting definition of a run. What's the definition of a run?
That's a good one. Well, that's a whole episode. So what's your favorite run?
All right, yeah. Embarrass yourself.
Hey, I stand strong by this. Jason Aaron's Thor run.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I don't know. You said
what?
Okay.
I finally met another friend.
Well, Max,
I like
what do you
Jason
feel
Aaron.
about it?
Me personally, I read it all the way up to the end, bought every issue. I thought it was good.
Fantastic.
It was probably 2 years too long, I think, which is a Jason Aaron.
I mean, if you count the War of the Realms as part of then yeah.
Count it all, buddy. Even
all
King
there.
Thor.
King Thor was amazing. Don't you talk bad about that.
But there's a lot of in between that was just kind of tiring.
It was tough. What's tough about Jason Aaron's Thor is that it was one of those ones that just kind of got immediately shelved for the next run, which was good, which I like. Which I like. Donny Cates' Thor, I think, is quite good as well. But it just feels like such a big sea change between the two.
I can't stand Donny Cates' Thor.
Oh, yeah. Donny Cates did something that even lent credence to Jane Foster in her time as Thor in this new issue. I dug it.
He's good at playing with other people's toys.
Yeah, I think so
okay.
too.
I'll check that issue out. But
you should.
But
or stick around, maybe you'll see it.
What? No, I'm not buying any Marvel anymore.
Oh, you aren't? Just because of Dan Slott?
No, I kind of got fed up with it a couple months ago, and I said I wasn't going to buy any. I made a whole video about it.
Yeah, you got to stick by it, man. You make a video about it, you got to stick by it.
Yeah, you better delete the video.
Well,
make it
then
private.
I bought like 1 or 2 books here and there. And then it was like 3 books I bought, and then now Dan Slott, now I'm back to 0 again because I really.
Dude, there's always something that trumps your hate for something. So I could say I hated all of Marvel except now I just read Beta Ray Bill by Daniel Warren Johnson, and right now Amazing Fantasy by Kari Andrews. You're not going to get better than that in any other company.
I think can I tell you something? Can I tell you a pet peeve I had with that Beta Ray Bill story?
How dare you?
If it's the same one as mine, I'm gonna.
It better not be that ping pong table scene.
I can handle the ping pong. There's that
too much wrestling, too much AEW.
No, I think he did a good job with it, incorporating some of that into the fight scene especially at the end. I thought the final fight between him and Surtur was pretty good.
Yeah, it's great.
When he just didn't stick the landing, and he's watching Hook. Beta Ray Bill's in his fucking spaceship watching Hook.
Dude, I just watched Hook for the first time.
Okay, before you say anything about that, go back to Jim Starlin's it's the Infinity Watch. And
do I have
no one's
to?
read the Infinity
do
Watch.
I have to go back to Infinity Watch?
Go back and read the Infinity Watch. It's a great story.
You and George read that.
Hold on. When they're coming together to bring the Infinity Watch together, when Drax, they're getting Drax.
At least it was Stupid Drax, right?
Yeah, it was Stupid Drax.
Okay,
he's
good.
watching. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's the old. It's the old yellow monster. God, everyone knows the name of it. I just can't think of it right now.
Zax?
No, he's watching like a monster movie. He's
no,
watching
it's not a monster movie. It's like a Jim Henson puppet, but it's yellow and it's
Big
like a
Bird.
family movie. No, it's a family movie.
Someone was in Big Bird. What are you talking about?
He's a Jim Henson. He's still a Muppet.
Oh, maybe not. I thought it was a costume, right?
I'm sorry, I can't remember that. But
Don't worry about it. Nobody expects you to remember Infinity Watch, even though you love it so much.
The book is amazing, dude.
It's nerd evangelism. You know what I'm talking about?
I
know.
This concept of I played video games and I saw Batman in theaters and I saw Hook. I watch Hook all the time. It's like, why the fuck is Beta Ray Bill watching Hook? I'm sorry. Like, he's a fucking spaceman thing. He should be doing something else besides like watching Hook and feeling sad. It's like, bro, you saw your whole fucking. You just avenged all your dead people and everything, and you're watching Hook. It's like it just took me right out of the story. Like, and
too many Easter eggs is what you're saying.
Too many Easter eggs, and when it's like kind of a centerpiece of the end, that's how the story ends. It's like, but there's no lines in there about like, oh, Beta Ray Bill, he collects a bunch of Earth stuff. That's why he's got wrestling posters and band posters, and
All right, so if I'm only giving this a 4 out of 5, it's still better than most things.
Oh no, dude, Beta Ray Bill still gets a 5 out of 5.
So here's
great
the thing.
Series, even though
I was originally gonna be like Daniel Warren Johnson on Beta Ray Bill. That's metal as hell. And so I was gonna read it, but then the first issue was a tie-in to King in Black, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Barely. It's just a
transition. It's just like
it's so it sets it in a certain point in time, but
I bet you it just
overall it doesn't matter.
I'm sure they were like, "Hey, tie it in," and he did the barest of bear tie-in in which Beta Ray Bill's fighting Fin Fang Foom, and he happens to be under control of Null, but it doesn't matter because it's literally just the opening fight scenes, a couple pages.
Well, I wish someone told me that before.
It didn't have the banner. You know how all those crossover books have like King in Black tie-in or like whatever.
Didn't have like a bullet somewhere on the cover.
I don't think it did.
I understand what you're saying though, Jimmy.
You know what? But I like a lot of those. Some of those oddball tie-ins can just be fun little mini series that just the Thunderbolts one for King in Black. I read that one. It wasn't bad. It was just a little villain heist book.
Right. No, Jill, this guy who is an alien had to undergo crazy surgeries to become the champion of his people to save their lives. And in so doing, basically orphaned himself. Yes.
Yeah, but it's like he's like a.
And then Jill says, trying to think of an artsy Hook connection. There you
go. It's there. Don't get me wrong. The connection's there, but to me, it just sort of takes me out of the story, and it seems like the creator really likes Hook.
That's what happens when an artist is writing the story.
But it's okay. It's all right.
They have to put those things in because they can't write.
It's forgiven because the rest of the comic was really good. But I'm just on a nerd evangelism, an anti-nerd evangelism crusade. It's like comics are great. Comics don't make you the fucking man, or they don't make you more special than anyone else. Or just because you play it on a fucking Nintendo doesn't mean you're better than the kid playing Fortnite on his Nintendo. Because that's what a lot of that nerd evangelism
Unless
is.
I played an Atari 2600 back in the day.
I mean, it's a cool story, but just don't,
I totally disagree. Anyone who plays Super Mario on the Nintendo 64 is better than pretty much anyone playing today.
Wow, I don't know.
We're better at Super Mario, but I mean, other stuff, I don't know.
By the way, I just gotta say, I have to say this because otherwise it's gonna bug me for the rest of the night. It was Alf.
I love Alf.
What was Alf?
Okay, that's different.
Drax watching Elf on a spaceship.
But there wasn't. But Drax is watching Alf because Drax is dumb as fuck, and Alf was like a dumb as fuck TV show that I fucking love. I used to have so much Alf on VHS.
So what's that say about you?
Oh, it says that I have terrible taste in sitcoms, but it holds up today. Trust me, those episodes are still funny. And I like puppets. That's what it says about me. And I'm like Drax. Drax, come on.
Max and Drax, just like that.
I love Drax too. I like Vin Diesel Drax though.
So do I.
Yeah. That's different because Daniel Warren Johnson's trying.
Batista?
You don't like Batista?
He brought Dumb Drax back.
Did you say Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel, when they made him look like Riddick.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. And now it's Batista Drax, which I it's
gotcha.
Better,
I was just, I'm not so with it, so I was a little curious.
When they changed them way back when, like 20 years ago, I think Keith Giffen was like, Yeah, I saw that Riddick and I thought he looked cool, so I just copied him.
By the way, Riddick is my second favorite sci-fi movie of all time. So
Riddick or what's the one? Pitch Black.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, Pitch Black. I haven't seen Chronicles of Riddick, but
Pitch Black's cool, but it didn't explore the whole entire world and mythos. And Chronicles of Riddick like really delved deep, and I was like, I'm here for it, David Toohey.
All right. We can agree to disagree, but no. But going back to what I'm saying, that's different. That's just Jim Starlin like fucking around and like, there's no sentimentality between Drax and Alf. Drax is just like, haha, Alf funny, and maybe they were publishing Marvel. I'm willing to bet Alf and Infinity Watch. Maybe there was some crossover in publishing because Alf went for like 75 issues at Marvel Comics, so it could have been like a secret little crossover. I love those.
I think
Alf
that's
comics.
to this conversation right now.
I have an Alf.
Yeah, why are we talking about Alf?
No, I like it. What's
the
the name of the Permanent Midnight, something like that? That's the story about the guy that created Alf or wrote like a head writer on Alf.
I don't know.
And he just wants to like commit suicide. Like he's doing coke and parties and just destroying his life.
King.
Because he's writing Alf.
This just sounds like Stephen King.
I gotta take a break for a second.
Yeah, you do that. So what I want to ask you, Jimmy, is after all this Dan Slott stuff, and you already told me that you're not reading Marvel anyway. How does this make you feel as far as like interacting with creators online? Have you learned a lesson, or are you just like? I mean, how do you feel? Like, what does this make you do? Because you're a fairly new comic reader. I mean, liking Infinity Watch would suggest there's a lot more that you have to read.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Infinity Watch is fantastic. So
there's nothing wrong with liking stuff, and I am just giving you a hard time. Seriously.
No, I don't care.
Look, I own a store. The things I've sold in my life. What 20% of it I probably dig, you gotta
I know my store owner like and he talks about like after he started a store he doesn't even read books anymore because he has no time for it.
Well, I understand that, but part of the job is knowing what you're selling, so I like to be able to communicate with people and at least be able to like say I read at least an issue of a storyline or something like that.
Well, also he's like behind the scenes now because he runs 3 stores, so it's like
it's even I mean, you get into it because you really like it, and then it overtakes you.
Yeah. So back to the question. First off, I learned a lesson, and 2, it changed nothing. 1, the one time I talk about politics, this happened, so. Not going to do that again on Twitter, and because I mainly don't. I really stay away from that. But with interacting with creators, nothing. I knew who Dan Slott kind of was on Twitter before this, so I didn't know he went this far. So maybe I should be a little more careful now that I'm speaking the words out loud. Yeah, but nothing much. Like, and I got an interview coming up here soon once I get my own place because I just moved out of a place. Either way, once I get my own place, I got an interview with Doug Ernst. And
oh, really? Oh,
I know.
He's gonna. No. Well, you're pals with him, right?
No,
you guys
not
are just
pals.
gonna talk about being Catholics or something like that all night long. Catholics and comics.
Before this happened,
Daredevil.
He and I have never spoke to each other, never like crossed paths, anything. Afterwards, he went straight to my DMs and just was a kind human being. So I will talk to him because I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say this on your channel. Oh, well.
It's okay. I'm interviewing you.
So, like, I don't know anything about Comicsgate, pretty much. So he's going to come on, and I'm going to ask him questions and kind of be like a hard-hitting interview, sort of.
You're going to interview him on his show?
On mine.
Oh, on your show. Oh, on your channel. Good. That's in the comments down below, or the description. your channel. So when are you going to have him on? Is this going to be a live or taped?
It's going. Well, it'll probably be taped. Because if something gets out there, I'll get bots in the chat. So
I don't know what I can give you the elevator pitch on Comicsgate from what I've
Oh
read.
yeah, let's hear it. All right, Max, if you're willing to do it, because we don't usually talk about it on the show.
I'm fucking unaffiliated, of course. But
I'm unaffiliated.
Neither am I. Yeah,
it seems like it's just a bunch of dudes who just don't like how comic books are these days, and they seem like it's a certain type of writer that gets hired, which is fine. It's just it's a thing.
So like, I will be doing my own research on some things that have happened in Comicsgate.
I think they get conflated with a lot of I'll say I don't know, just like a lot of bad people, and I think there are a lot of not great people in it. I think it's also just a thing that comic book writers have also, or comic book creators have just sort of really spun themselves around, as opposed to realizing that it's just people reacting to an art form, as opposed to and I think Twitter, of course, enables the worst people. So I assume that a lot of people who are affiliated with that and are also spending a lot of time on Twitter also maybe just make a lot of poor decisions in how they talk about it, because Twitter is just a callous medium. It was more than an elevator pitch, though. I'm kind of going on a tangent about Twitter.
Let me get into here real quick. LK says, and I do know about this also, yeah. Doug had his own run-ins with Slott when he was criticizing Spider-Man all the time. But this would be like on message board type things, like CBR and things.
4chan.
And supposedly Dan Slott would make dummy accounts and answer for his favor when he. Have you ever heard of Dan Slott's shenanigans, Max? On
not like that, but I mean, I'm not putting it above.
I mean,
you hear about people doing that stuff
without saying who or anything. Max, you have known people that are in comics that are in a clique, right? That work in comics these days, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about how much work.
How much?
Yeah. I've known some professionals in my time. Yeah, good people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. This is kind of the way it is, and when someone becomes an editor and they know a bunch of people, those are the people that they hire. And I usually use it as or explain the negatives towards the comic book industry as a sports analogy, is like maybe you're a team that has to worry about offense instead of defense, and you start drafting and doing things to become better offensively. Well, that's what this is. Not an agenda as much as this is the direction we're going, and you can either stick with us or you can leave. But then when you leave, we're going to talk smack about you, which is what that stuff seems to. Let's see here. And also Jimmy just left, but you're going to be interviewing a newspaper man. We'll say that to him when he gets back. They can act like dicks. I've seen it happen for sure. It seems like everybody. The thing is that comic books is all about Arrested Development. And when people ask me if I read young adult novels, I say no. Why would I do that? I read comic books. Those are the young adult novels that I read still. If I'm going to read a real book, it ain't going to be a young adult novel. I'm going to read a real book.
I think there's a lot of I think a lot of these creators though are taking a lot of the fall for a lot of corporate decisions too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, now we're seeing that all these creators.
Okay, hold up.
Oh yeah, please.
Bendis changing John Kent to an adult is all his idea. That all falls on him. Captain America turning into Hydra, without a doubt, is Spencer.
No. That editor.
So wait.
Editor. Look, we have already seen Leah Williams come out and talk about how shit was rewritten on her own book. Now, Spencer ain't no hot shit that he couldn't have his stuff rewritten, and neither is freaking whoever you said before that.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, he ain't that. The thing is you allow DC hired this guy to come in and run and track dirt all up on their carpet. That's their fault. They're editors, their hiring staff that brought him in and let him run roughshod and get all his friends and all the other people that are working on books that probably shouldn't are all on the freaking people that hire the guy. I
Well,
mean,
you can't blame it all back on the people who hired people because.
Oh yeah, I can.
No, you can't, because then you should.
Do
have
you
to
fire
blame...
the baseball player? Or do you fire the baseball manager? The hitting coach first. I had nothing to do with them not fielding. Y'all,
no. You can definitely blame it on the editorial. You can blame it on I don't know the Joe Quesadas, the Dan DiDios, the Jim Lees, but you can't blame it on like the people who think they're doing a good job by, hey, we're going to hire this guy because he has proved he can sell books, so we'll bring him here. And when he comes here, that's not on the people who hired him. That's the people who said, you know what, your idea is good. Or, you know what, just do whatever you want. That goes back to them.
Were you guys comparing, were you guys just comparing Hydra Cap to adult John Kent?
No. I don't know how it got that way, but I mean, I'm more than
I was
happy
just
to
saying.
argue
I was just saying the blame for Hydra Cap and adult John Kent is on the writers because those are the people who had the ideas to do that.
Oh, I mean, Hydra Cap wasn't that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad either. It's just too long.
What? No, I think it's just the idea of it's bad. Captain America, the guy who. His name's Captain America. His name's not Captain.
It wasn't actually Captain America, though.
No, it was. But
at the end of the story, it was like he was like a cosmic cube.
That's the reason why he's that way. He still hasn't had that fixed yet. But
I thought there was an evil, but I thought there was like an evil Hydra Cap running around the Marvel universe.
No. The evil Cap is in prison. The fake Cap made by the Cosmic Cube kid is the fake Cap running around looking for his shield.
You know, it's a good way to solve that.
Retcon.
Well, you got a point.
He wasn't in World War II anymore. He was frozen somewhere in Vietnam.
Frozen in the Gulf.
No, what you do, go back, throw him back to some Starlin again. Infinity War, Cosmic Cubes, the Magus had control of them. Just throw in some Magus. And then that's a good way to bring back Adam Warlock.
I'm a pro
guy
Magus,
and his Infinity Watch. I'm telling you.
Geez.
Dude, Jim
this guy
Starlin
has
is
an
the
agenda
greatest
for
classic
Infinity
writer
Watch.
of all time.
Jim Starlin's good, but he's, classic Jim Starlin's good.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
gotta read Dreadstar, buddy.
Yeah, Dreadstar's the shit. If you haven't read Dreadstar.
No, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
What?
I'm telling you, he's just a babe in the woods.
No one's ever told me about this. What is it?
That's because they don't know either.
It's
you gotta. I mean, they do. I mean, like if you hang with like Perch channels, or sometimes I talk about stuff like this. But overall, it's an old version of a Marvel or DC comic book that people are talking about. But the true independence of the 80s and 90s, people don't talk about Drawn and Quarterly or Fantagraphics too often. Oh, cartoonist kayfabe, of course, is a way to go.
Boom,
also.
what's this?
But that's when you're like tired of reading all the Infinity Watch, you know?
What's this, Yule?
It's an epic. Let me, what's the deal on that?
I believe this is first Dreadstar.
Oh, is that really?
Yep.
Is it Metamorphosis?
I'd have to crack it open and look.
All right, don't worry about it.
I'm almost
I forget
certain.
how the order of that goes, but yeah, all that Jim's. I did a price video with my cohort on Sci-Fi Fantasy Read Along. ATN. We did the price. Sagizzi.
Do you want to play a little game, Yule?
Story. Yeah, I would love to play a game.
We'll play whose first appearance. People in the comments, you can play along.
All right, whose first appearance? Without looking, it doesn't give it away on the cover, obviously.
Well, the Joker.
The Joker. Come on.
You can do some. You can speculate on what you think. Why is this a big deal? Why is this book in my collection? And if you got the app, I guess you can.
Is that Jigsaw? I'm just guessing. Is that Jigsaw?
Jigsaw, good guess. Not Jigsaw.
Not Jigsaw. So who's Punisher shooting at?
Manucci?
No.
So it has to be. This has to be like 75, 77.
Yeah.
Who would
the character? The character
I
that
know.
shows up is in a backup feature. It's not actually.
Is it White Tiger?
Good guess. Not White Tiger. Not really a character's first appearance. First appearance as a certain type of character.
Well, I already got it wrong. I'm
Can I just tell you?
Nobody's saying anything.
Can you say it again? Can you say what your hint was?
All right. So it's not necessarily the first appearance of a character, but it's the first appearance of a character shown in a certain way.
So like in costume or empowered or something like that.
Something like that.
So like when this is the first time Frankie Ray got imbued with the power
something like
cosmic
that.
or something.
Something like that. And I got one more hint when you're ready for it. If you want.
Give me the hint.
This character did not settle on this name. This and this name is taken by another character. Dazzler. It's not Dazzler. Everyone knows Dazzler's first appearance.
I'm going to say the Black Cat.
Good guess. I'm going to tell you guys, this is Bobby Morse. Before she was Mockingbird. Not Mockingbird, the Huntress.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. She shows up in the back. And this is also the first solo Punisher. Sorry.
All right. Back in the day when Punisher didn't have a series. Not really.
All right. One more. We'll do one more.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, I got a whole stack. You want to keep? I can
oh my gosh!
One more.
Sure, this is a different show. I love it.
We got. What's the big deal with this issue?
Well, it looks like a McFarlane.
It's the write-in for the ads of Black Suit Spider-Man.
Good guess. Close, but not really.
No.
No.
I'm seeing Warner Brothers and Marvel on the same book.
You were on the right track.
Oh, is that first Todd McFarlane?
It's not first Todd McFarlane. It's
his first webbing.
No.
His first spaghetti webs.
they got some spaghetti webs. It's an oddball. This is this is some of the first printed images of Venom. Period.
Oh, okay, very good.
Really? Okay.
It's not his first appearance because it's not a comic book, but they're just clips from his first appearance.
Oh man, I was so close on that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that want to collect the order books where first appearances come from, suggesting that those are the first appearances, and I say nuts to that.
I say nuts to that, but they're still collectibles.
Sure thing.
Collectibles.
Then again, I'm the guy who thinks Hellboy's first appearance is in X-Men 21, and everyone's like, no, it's in San Diego Comic-Con. No, it's in the Italian one.
Isn't one of the San Diego
San Diego Comic-Con, I think it's like 2.
But he's like there's the one that's like the test sketch.
Yeah.
But
then everyone's like, that's Hellboy. I'm like, no, the first appearance of Hellboy is in X-Men 21 because it's the first time we see him in his red form and actually the way we see him today.
I swear to God, there's a short story that predates that. Am I wrong?
I think you'd be wrong.
You might be right. I swear to God, there is a story.
There is a Italian magazine that had Hellboy in it with a couple images.
I could be wrong.
But it kind of looks like him, but he had different colors. He had gold horns. It was weird. But I don't think it's.
Ethan Van Sciver's always excessive. So I mean, it's just like
I did see that because I was on a show with Nerdette, and I think he thinks he's playing. This is my 2 cents or my
not an excuse. That man.
Yeah, and that's the stream where EVS and I exchanged a few unpleasantries.
Oh, were you on that one, or were you just in the chat?
I was in the chat, but he was like bugging her, and then I was just like, "Dude, leave her the F alone."
It's I don't know. I don't even want to say it's like that. It's just doing it. I don't know what to say.
And Nerdette is so kind. She's one of the coolest people.
She faced me on that show. I was talking about Batwoman and how she was like Batman's beard back in like the 50s or 60s. And she's all, that was Kathy Kane. And I'm like, you're right. And I didn't say a word. So look at this, by the way, Jimmy. So you can go to Doug with this information. I can tell you OG Comicsgate started out primarily as a criticism of the direction of the big two. And then the big guys came in, right? Yeah. And that's where we are. Boom.
One of the biggest, I'm surprised they never picked up on one of my biggest criticisms. And I like a lot of the content of that era of Marvel Comics that I think Comicsgate doesn't like. You know, your Kamala Khans and your what else was on there?
Riri Williams and Jane Foster.
Yeah,
Thor.
I like all those characters. Yeah, I like all those characters.
Jane Foster Thor. I'm
I
not
think-
so sure I like Bendis on the Williams stuff, but it was more Bendis than anything personally.
I need to move the cat. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I think one of the big. I can't believe they never just picked up on like the hypocrisy of Marvel publishing this while their CEO just gave more money than anyone else to Donald Trump.
Well, that is something that was going on. I know there were pros that were kind of upset about that, but to them, I say, who cares? You know?
Yeah. What you gonna do?
What are you gonna? Well, I mean, I don't. The thing is, I feel that it's not so much agenda driven as much, again, as directionless, rudderless. They are more caring about the perception or what they are putting out there than they are the actual content of what they're putting out there. So, you know, Bendis has changed the way comic books are written, especially at Marvel. You have these people coming in and filling up 6 issues worth of story with only 2 issues worth of material, and it gets run of the mill. It gets very watered down. And
you know what I think more than the people or anything else, more than who's writing it or more than who's the big guy at the top, who's the locker room leader, it's the format of their comics and the fact that everything is a 6-issue story arc. At some point it's all going to become kind of the same.
Right.
And some of those great stories, some of those great runs, Jim Starlin, on Captain Marvel into Warlock, into those Avengers annuals. You don't know how many issues that are. There wasn't a set amount before they were going to collect it in trade. Yeah, decompression sucks. I agree. And there's just when the fact that it's just the business model is that everything has to be a 6-issue story arc so it can go on the trades while the trades are the same size or something like that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, what's up, Jimmy?
Go.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say this. I've said this for a while, but a lot of people disagree. And if you disagree, I don't care. So I think Bendis is possibly the most influential writer. I want to say since '98.
Yeah.
Can you guys agree with that?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a controversial statement. I'd go even further. Are we talking writer? If we're talking writer, you could go back to even further. I think you could go back to like 92 or
like
something
Torso.
that.
Like you thinking like his stuff like in the independent
I'm not
market?
talking about
'Cause he could
him.
be.
I'm talking about him in general in comparison to the influence of other writers in terms.
I was just saying. I said '98 when he first like joined on to Marvel.
I'm going to say that like Bendis was the dude that all of a sudden I feel like there's a shift between who's the artist and who's the writer, who's more popular, who's more important to the buyer.
And
I'd say
I would-
that Bendis is that. Otherwise, you're talking about like who was the big guy before that? Maybe like Jeff Loeb or like
Brian
Jim
Hill.
Lee. Jim Lee, Jim Lee was a big seller, but he was like an example of like an artist who was a big
Brian Hill. I didn't mean to say Brian Hill. I meant to say John Byrne.
Sure, John Byrne, but I mean, Bendis kind of made them all eat shit.
I know, and I would even say, I could have an argument even to say most influential since Lee and Kirby.
That's fucking crazy, but
no, I could have an argument. For that.
You would have an argument.
No other person has had full control over what Marvel did from events to how other books revolved around his writing since then. He had full control like that for about 15 years.
But that was more Axel Alonso.
Did he have?
Also, I think.
But did he? Yeah, and I think
No, it would be more Joe Quesada, then leading into Axel
I think
Alonso.
Bendis strikes me as a dude who's willing to play ball, and he's not going to, as long as he's cashing a check, he's not going to raise a stink about what you want him to do. So when you tell him, hey man, we want you to make an Avengers team and we want you to feature these characters, he's gonna be like, sure, that sounds great. I'll write.
I mean,
whatever.
even if it was his freaking idea to,
and I mean that as a
Spider-Man,
compliment. I think that's a good trait to have.
Even if it was his idea to put Spider-Man and Wolverine in the Avengers, it's not like one of those like amazing thoughts. It's just one of those thoughts that they would have said no to any other person.
You're just thinking about the main 616. Think about
don't even give me that
1610, the Ultimate.
You mean the original Marvel Universe? I remember them. Making Colossus gay doesn't make it different.
But just remixing the story a little bit.
I mean, it does.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
That wasn't even him writing that, but you know what I mean?
You're remixing the story a little bit.
He created a universe that wasn't just the main 616. He had full control over what happened in the Ultimate Universe.
The Punisher was a guy that used to be a cop instead of a guy that was in the military. He got his family gunned down. Oh, look, there's a Doctor Strange. Oh, he's different, but barely, and McKeever drew it. You know,
still influential though. That's the point.
Yeah, he's influential. I can agree. I can agree with that statement. Was it a rip-roaring success that stands the test of time? Hell no. People don't.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
People don't even really people don't like recommend Ultimate Spider-Man with the same gusto.
They also don't keep it in print right now.
I hear Ultimate Spider-Man recommended to every new person in comics.
Don't do that. It's not in print. I hate that.
I love it.
I hate that when these sons of bitches recommend shit that I can't order.
But it's
totally a print. If you go on digital, like
don't even give me that.
It's
this
there's
is a
something
store
about
point of view.
It's
Trying to piss me off. Trying to piss me off.
It's getting a little old. I'm just saying, Ultimate Spider-Man is getting up there. I'll recommend Ultimate X-Men before I recommend Ultimate Spider-Man.
Do you think did when Dan Slott blocked you once and for all when he stopped talking to you? Did he say this?
That I just hate you and I hate your ass face.
I love Fred Willard.
No, the screenshot of him saying thank you to me deleting the tweet was the last thing, and then I blocked him so I could like I just said screw you know I don't even want you to come back. So I said
always block back.
I blocked him. I literally blocked him. That was the whole thing.
Blocking lessons.
We ended on good. Not really good.
I've never blocked anybody. I've muted people though. I have done that. I
might have blocked someone, but it was like just because they kept slurring. And so
I also found that you can block words, which is nice. Then you don't have to actually block the person. They just
I knew that on YouTube you could.
Oh, okay.
I see all these comments. I'm looking at all these comments. I see Marvel 2099. I see Marvel. I raise
Whoa,
I see
Marvel
MC2.
2099.
I raise all that and I say and I present to you
Karen Berger.
The Ty Conti versus the Bunny of Marvel Comics. The Marvel Mangaverse. Anyone got that shit on their shelf? Because I do.
Eli, if you weren't here earlier, you should see when about 20 or 30 minutes ago when Jimmy first showed up, we talk about his adventure. Eli hates Dan Slott's Spider-Man. I love Dan Slott's Spider-Man personally.
Yeah,
Eli and I totally do not agree at all.
There was some good
I
issues.
don't like. Oh God, this is worse. There's two characters that are the most popular in all of comics, and I hate reading their books.
Go.
Spider-Man and Batman.
Yeah, I agree on the Batman for the most part.
I don't like reading the books.
Spider-Man's a fucking creep serial
I
liar.
like Dan Slott's last book. His very last. What was it? 701? 801? Was
what?
it?
I don't get hung
his
up
last
on numbers. Yeah, 801. Beautiful story.
That was the one I really liked. And
Marcos Martin was the artist.
And I have not found a Spider-Man book I like besides The Death of the Stacys. I really like the last words Captain Stacy said to Spider-Man. As if like, hey, I knew who you were all along. I was like, wow.
Those are the only Spider-Man books stories you like?
A lot of Spider-Man is the journey. And if you
don't, that way.
Nothing?
So
I actually haven't read that.
A lot of Spider-Man's the journey. And if you don't go through it, then when something big happens, it won't be as noticeable. And you get rewarded the more you read it, but there's definitely some ones I could recommend that you would dig.
You know, as far as moderns, I thought that Spider-Verse stuff, you want to talk influential, that Spider-Verse stuff was
so I totally forgot. The only other, I want to say my favorite Spider-Man book I've read is Chip Zdarsky's life story.
Oh, okay. Zdarsky's?
Okay.
I'm allowed.
You're allowed to have that opinion, but I'm allowed to hate it as well.
Yeah, that's true. It's
the MC2 books were
pretty wacky.
So
I don't even know what those are. What are they?
I bought some Spider-Girl ones.
You don't know
recently.
the MC2? The Spider-Girl. There was J2.
Wild Thing.
The Juggernaut's son.
Yeah, J2.
He had his flannels tied around his waist. Remember
Didn't like it.
Yeah, J2 sucked. There was like an Avengers Next. That's where you get Hope Van Dyne from the MCU. She first showed up in the MC2 universe.
Man, that sounds so cool.
LK not only was the Marvel Mangaverse with Adam Warren,
a lot of ton people.
If you watch you don't have to because I'm going to tell you, but the Kari Andrews interview that I had, he was working with Scotty Young in his early days over there.
Yeah, and then what's it? Ben Caldwell did Ninja High School and stuff.
Ben Dunn.
Ben Dunn.
I don't know. It's been done before.
But I think he did a bunch of that stuff too, and that stuff was kind of just out there wild.
Oh, I hated it. We poo-pooed it, but you know what came from that? Akira Yoshida.
Oh, good. This is good for something.
Every time I think of where Marvel is going, I go Akira. I should get that clip.
Is there okay? Speaking of like the new stuff Marvel's doing nowadays. Can I say why I'm not a big fan of Donny Cates' Thor? Even though I like Donny Cates' writing,
sure,
I'm not
I'm gonna hold his Thor right here while you say it.
Yeah.
Just to help.
Wait. Issues. Even better than that. I got to stop my cam while I do this because I'm shy when I show pictures. But we're gonna talk about Thor while we do this. So let me just get this ready. Oh, no, let me turn that off.
Dude, you should see my whole setup before I moved was just like Thor. I have a beautiful statue of Thor.
You said Jason Aaron is the best Thor run.
Yeah, and I stand by it.
More than Walt Simonson? You crazy.
I like Walt Simonson, especially his like the fight scene with I think it was like 175, 177.
That's my very clean countertop, by the way.
No, it's 337. 337. The fight scene with Beta Ray Bill's first appearance and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Beta Ray Bill,
that whole story was
volcano.
amazing.
So awesome.
Whole run is great.
By the way, Nick Klein, nothing against him. Nothing at all.
He only does the cover anyway. Oh no, this is Coipel.
Olivier Coipel does the covers. He does the interiors.
Not today. It's this Bandini guy.
Bandini.
So,
I know normally it would be. You're right.
All right, get to it. What's up with Donny Cates?
So yeah, tell me about Donny Cates.
The first 6 issues, I was in love with. I was like, this idea is rad, and then he just stops it. You're like, what? Like, I want more of this, and then you take 2 issues out of my day to talk about some weird side story that doesn't really matter. And then it goes into Prey, and you're just like, okay, oh God. I feel like he's like a little bit ADHD. Like he's always wanted to write Thor. So now he's just, when he gets the opportunity, he's just going from this idea to this idea to this idea without actually really finishing anything. And it's like, I want the Black Winter to finish. That first 6 issues was so good. And like, even with the whole, like Thanos thing with the weird gauntlet, like that was cool too. But like we can get there later down the road. But finish that Black Winter, and he didn't. And then Prey, he promised it to be a scary story, and I found it to be quite boring.
I think you have to have read Thor for a long time to be invested in this character, Donald Blake. I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't. If you've read a lot of Thor, even if you read Walt Simonson, you never encountered Donald Blake.
No, I like Donald Blake. I love the Straczynski run. That is amazing. I'm okay with Donald Blake.
Like hardly a character. I mean,
Max is not in this conversation anymore. If he doesn't like Straczynski's run, he's not.
There's nothing wrong with.
I'm allowed to look. Art's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it was just kind of boring. What Thor finding his Asgardian brethren, and it's usually some kind of hammy.
It's a little different than what it was before.
Yeah, and I don't want Thor rooted. I don't want Thor rooted in fucking Broxton. I want Thor in outer space. I want Thor fighting Galactus, throwing his hammer at his.
That was the whole point of Straczynski's run, to get Asgard back again. Wow, I should probably rephrase that sentence. To get, I don't know how to say it now. Okay, well,
I don't know. I just wasn't. I don't think it holds up particularly well. And I think that Donald Blake, if that story didn't have Donald Blake, I think it would be better. Because it's totally. If you like that run a lot, I could see why you'd hate that Prey, because it's totally kind of made that run like, who is this Donald Blake person now, that when you go back and read about it, if you know he's actually this like figment of, he's like a crutch created by Odin for Thor to fall back on sometimes, and it turns out he's this crazy super serial killer.
That was always the thing about Donald Blake to me. I mean, it was like I had a real hard time justifying that character or Thor, because what happens to that person, and Donny Cates just goes and like answers it, and I appreciate that he does that kind of stuff, because very few people do that.
Well, no. Straczynski did that in his run, but in his run,
he was
it just
doing
goes into the Black
from
Void.
a point of there wasn't any Thor anymore, so he had to get the band back together, and that was ultimately the entirety of Straczynski's run. The most passionate story that occurred was between that Asgardian and that Oklahoman guy. You know what I mean? It's like it's their story. And that's typical Straczynski, because he's a TV writer. I still do like that stuff, but if it didn't have Koipel doing art, it would have been a lot more of a drag.
And because of that run, Coppell is my favorite storyteller in comics.
He's good.
He is great.
He's very good.
Not my favorite artist, but my favorite storyteller. There's a difference.
Hey, Max, tell me what Thanos is doing to Thor's head here.
Crushing it like a little piece of, what's it got?
Like a mouse.
Yeah, crushing it like an eggplant.
Yeah, we find out it's a dream, and it's being imparted to Jane Foster here as Thor's like, again, here's Thor. This is how I have read that character more often than not.
I really liked the bit in this issue where he orders a hot dog and his speech bubbles change.
Oh yeah, totally, right here. And he's like, she even says to him, like, what are you doing talking all surfer boy or something?
I liked
like
it.
that.
It's funny, and the art on the letters changed. Very, very cute little brief interaction.
Not only that, but he does the same thing. He's like, I've been around forever. I'm more New York than New Yorkers. I've been here.
Yeah. He's like,
I can change my dialect. And she's all, you sound like you're from Orange County. He's all, yeah, well, you're trying to pass off that Asgardian accent, and it's like, I like that, because it's making it's poking a little fun at Jane Foster for her Thor days, and it's just like me with Jimmy and the Infinity Watch, and I appreciate this aspect of the writing here. This is a nod a little bit better than having Hook in a movie at the end. I think.
My god,
this is for the comic writer.
The only problem I have with it is Jane Foster is still Valkyrie. That's such a downgrade. Ugh.
Dude, they killed the original Valkyrie. How do you think she feels?
Well, that's fair, but also it's like Jane Foster. Jason Aaron did so much work with Jane Foster. I kind of want that old milk and cookies back.
Well, here's something else. Speaking of a downgrade, Max, we've got the Wrecking Crew.
Oh yeah, but no Thunderball. Thunderball's too smart for him.
Wait, who's the dude up on the top? Oh, he's not there. You're right.
It's just that's why they got caught, dude, because they didn't have the whole force
They
them.
didn't have the whole team. It's like
Well, they didn't
three
have
of the
their smartest
Wrecking-
member. So
The thing about the Wrecking Crew is that these guys would be like a to be continued part of the issue, and then you come back and you'd wipe them up into like the first
they're
couple
total
pages.
jobbers these days.
Yeah, they're so jobbers, and you can see it right here. I do appreciate this little action scene though. It's not like super dynamic, but it's fun to watch.
You know what this art reminds me of? Have you guys read Ice Cream Man?
Oh yeah, I know who that
I know of
Morazzo
the
guy
Ice
or
Cream
whatever.
Yeah, Lorazzo's art kind of reminds me of that, but not as good.
See, now I was thinking that maybe not this page as much, but some of the other ones, especially when Thor's being drawn, it reminded me of Dodderman, but like
Really?
a weak version of Dodderman.
It's halfway between Russell Dodderman and Jamie McKelvey.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Dodderman
I
has
like
this
it.
weird style that like I didn't like to start, but then ended up loving. It's just like everything looks so smooth. Like literally, if you touch it, it would be smooth.
Like this head here, when he hits the wrecker, that's such a Dodderman head right there on Thor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also on the that person right there he's hitting.
yeah. And that's nice. This is some good action. The wrench was or whatever is coming back, and Thor catches it. She kicks him in the back, and that's some good action. I like that.
You get a nice big boom in there.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah,
There you go.
they need to let the Wrecking Crew rest a little bit. You need to get some other
Well, they're like
Marvel bad guys.
Taskmaster. Who else is like
Taskmaster's showing up a lot these days. I feel like
that?
Batroc
He's a total
had
wimp. Arcade usually is.
Ooh, Arcade.
Bullseye is as well.
Bullseye. Oh,
I
well,
feel like
geez.
Bullseye-
Kevin Smith screwed him up.
Yeah, Bullseye doesn't get around that one. Bullseye was like dead for like a couple of years.
Bullseye used to be, man, back in the day, he was like to be feared. But now he's,
Yeah, he was actually Bullseye was pretty good in the Old Man Hawkeye. No, Old Man Hawkeye. He was pretty good in that.
I didn't read that. I don't usually do what if stories.
I
No
do what
offense
ifs,
to
but the
them.
Old Man universe. I mean,
I love the Old Man universe. I love it.
I like
the only
Old
one
Man
I didn't
Logan's
like
alright.
was the Old Man Quill. That's the only one I didn't really like.
Well, isn't that like 2 out of 3 of them? Oh, they did that Avengers
2 out of 4.
in the Wasteland.
I don't know. Do you
Okay.
count Old Man Logan when he was in Current 616?
No.
That
Those were
was
good.
so good, man.
Yeah, it
Jeff
was good.
Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino killed it.
They're going to be doing a comic coming up called Primordial for Image. So check that out.
No, it's Primeval. It's Primeval.
I think it's Primordial.
Was it, or did they change
Just
it? 'Cause
trust me on it, dude. I won't
Trust me,
steer you
bro.
wrong. I ordered it. We got the Odin's old birds coming and contacting Thor.
Hugin and Moonin?
Yeah, something like that. Although I think one of them died, so it might be a different one.
No, one of his goats died.
Oh, that was sucked. Yeah.
Manga. But I think it came back to life. They brought him back.
Oh well, thank goodness.
Swear to God.
What was he, a
Swear
mutant?
Wait, did you say they brought back Mangog?
No, they brought back. I think it
Mangog's
was
always
Tooth-
back.
I believe it was Tooth Gnasher died, but I believe they brought him
Speaking
back.
about characters that fall from grace, dude, Mangog was Odin feared Mangog. Now he's like what, a punching bag?
Dude, she I love the way Jane Foster took care of.
Yeah, she had to.
She had to
was
send
the
Mjolnir
God
out
Tempest
with him, right?
The God Tempest with the
But
God
that was
Tempest.
his last. But that was Mangog's like last appearance. They had to. I thought
No,
that
no,
was
it was
great.
brought back not too long ago in something. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I dug it back then.
I thought
It
that
wasn't that long ago. He was still cool.
I
And
thought
not
it
only
was
that, but
great.
he was like a major threat through the entirety of like Aaron's run.
And
So
they
I
did
really
a good
enjoyed it.
job. You know what? They did a good job. I'm going to use some wrestling parlance. They did a good job making Mangog look strong.
Yeah, they did.
They
like,
had a
like
bunch
a
of-
credible threat. You have to make it
like
a credible
a
threat.
Roman Reigns. They just had these people lining up, and Mangog was just stomping all over them. It's some great covers too. That cover where it's just the Rainbow Bridge, and it's just like Thor and Jane Foster like laid out, and Mangog's just like boom walking towards Asgard, fucking up the Rainbow Bridge as he walks. Great cover.
Speaking of the Rainbow Bridge, we've got Thor thinking he's going to be meeting his mother, and instead, Papa Odin.
Fuck you, Dad.
They have a lot of problems with each other, obviously.
They shouldn't, though. They
always do, dude.
No, because of what happened at the end of Jason's run, they shouldn't have problems.
But it's just like, it's the cruel thing about like their, you know, about these myths is that like, yeah, these gods are such shitty people, and I don't know. I like the new Odin. He's kind of like a galactic vagabond. I like Thor when he's less, and maybe this to go back to J. Michael Straczynski's run. I like him when he's more cosmic, less high fantasy.
I see,
and that's why I think Jason Aaron kind of took him back into that sort of cosmic space realm with like alien gods and stuff like that. I like it when you're not sure what the fuck Thor is.
He did, but my favorite ones were like when he got the Brotherhood together to go against Malekith, or when they had that artist Dos Pastores do the dragon story.
I think even when he was doing that stuff, he still kept it more trippy, less Game of Thrones-ish. And I know that J. Michael Straczynski stuff came out before Game of Thrones was like super fucking popular. But
they're contemporaries though, Straczynski and Martin.
I
bet Straczynski was like always beating Martin to the punch, you know, when it comes to like TV and stuff.
He's totally a little more trimmer, a little more in shape.
Are you talking about the parallels from Babylon 5 and Game of Thrones?
I don't know if there's if there's comparisons like that, because I'm not a Babylon 5 guy, but those are tropes, and those guys know their craft better than most people. So
no, there's total ripoffs. There's like actual character names and group names, like not the Winter Guard. No, the Black Order or something like. I can't remember the exact name, but that thing was like totally ripped off and taken into Game of Thrones.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with you on that one because I don't know. But as far as like Game of Thrones, we could do it. We should have a whole episode on that someday. I don't know. Maybe we could get Landry on that one.
I love Game of Thrones.
Oh, you do? All right, very good. So here we have. I don't have any more pictures. There's a hook at the end that most people that enjoy Thor might want to see.
Yeah.
But this creature, I love the way it gets like sliced up. It's so awesome.
What is that?
I don't know.
Alien monster.
It ain't around much longer. So that's a little look at Thor this last week that came out. I enjoyed it personally. I liked it.
Me too.
So continuing why you don't like Donny Cates so much, or at least his Marvel stuff.
That's another thing too. The last page right there kind of like helped me think about it too. He says every last page has to be.
That's technically not his last page. That's the last one I chose. Just to let you know.
Okay.
There's a hook. I don't want to show you the hook. I'm trying to
well,
make someone buy it.
again,
I'm a store owner here, you know.
So there is a hook. So the last page, he says, always has to be like a hook for the next story. I don't think that's true. You can end a story when it needs to be ended. You don't have to have that story. Like, look at, let me think of one real quick. Look at Superman issue 2, 3, and 4. They were not really hooks. They just ended
talking
when
about the 40s?
No, he beats most recently.
Probably Bendis. Look at Bendis's. Like
no, I understand, but we had the overall threat of Rogol Zar, you know? Like that was already looming. We know that there's a status quo change in Superman and it's shaking everything up. So I don't know, I kind of cut you off.
No, you're good. I just think like you could totally end a story when it needs to be ended. Don't end it with like a big come back next week.
Yeah, but I hate to be about it. It goes back to the serial style of telling a story, and that's what comic books normally are. You can't wait for the next month. If you can wait the next month and the month after and the month after and letting your comics build up, do you really like them? I have had a lot of customers that after a while say, "Oh, I think I've been holding on to these a little too long." and it happens all the time. It happens to me all the time. But there are some comics I do not wait to build up, and it's usually something that has a hook. It's time sensitive. I don't want to be spoiled on something.
Sometimes if I have stuff building up and I got something I really want to read, let's say I got a Thor, but I got a couple issues of Spider-Man or something built up, or Captain America, I'm going to be like, yo, you got to at least read a couple of those Captain Americas before you read that Thor.
Then again, you're saying it kind of goes back to that thing. If we're going back, think about Jack Kirby and Stan Lee on Fantastic Four. They ended it when it was supposed to be ended, even if it was ended.
Always a teaser, but there's always a teaser.
Not true. Even if it was
come
3
back
pages.
next month for the Black Panther.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Coming of Galactus, 2 issues long, but it led into the next issue right after the second issue, right after that second part of the story, and it ended like near the end. But then it goes into a new story. It goes into the new story, Johnny going to college.
Right, but in
the middle.
But in those issues, there was always a hook. There was always like a final panel where it was like, whoa, reader, that was fucking amazing. But next week, we're going to fucking knock your dick in the dirt when we introduce Blastar or whatever. They always had a hook.
The Inhumans.
Yeah, the Inhumans, whatever. You're going to fucking love it. Whatever we make, you're going to totally love it. So, I'm going to take a gamble. I got an old issue of Avengers, right?
Jer O says, I feel like they use the B plots to keep you coming back, and the A plot would have a good ending, and I agree. I also think letters pages keep people coming back.
Oh, Squadron Sinister right here.
They had a so I'll be doing one of these for Mother's Basement soon. This one's really fun, very interesting. This is the first time Bruce meets up with Jessica since she's turned into She-Hulk.
Did you hear the news about She-Hulk?
I have heard the news. They got a She-Hulk.
What's the news?
There's just a new She-Hulk series coming that looks quite good.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
And she's going to be, there's a new, you mean a new series for the comic books or the new series for Disney?
Well, there's a new series for Disney, which is probably going to be cool. But there is the new comic book series coming out, I believe, next year.
Yeah, I heard it's like late this year or early next year. It's
she's back to her
written by Rainbow Rowell.
Who that Young Avengers book was pretty good. You want to talk about
Young Avengers?
Not Young Avengers, Runaways. I
can't get into Runaways, dude.
Yeah, you're too old.
No, I was there for the BKV.
Frank Avon, really?
Oh yeah, not only that, but I was the big pusher in the store for that. It was a good seller for what it was.
That was out of a weird group of
Tsunami is what
Marvel Tsunami.
So there was like this big tsunami right after that launch started for those books, and it was like Scotty Young on Human Torch, Paul Jenkins writing this Inhumans book. It had Brian K. Vaughan and all the people doing Runaways.
There was a Venom.
There was a Venom. That was the Scotty Young one. No.
Scotty Young. Maybe it did too.
Maybe it was Lan Medina. Something like that.
No. But didn't have Sam Keith covers? And I think the Lan Medina on art. Yeah.
Wait, Scotty Young did Venom? I thought he only did that one Torch. What If.
No. He did.
Well, he might have.
He did the Human Torch. He was right. And I think Live Wires. Someone shouted out to Adam Warren.
One. There was one called Sentinel too, and that sucked,
dude.
And it was Sean McKeever that wrote that Inhumans, not Paul Jenkins.
No, Paul Jenkins wrote the Inhumans. Sean McKeever.
No, but not the one I'm thinking, not the Tsunami one. Sean McKeever did Sentinel also.
And Live Wires was tight.
Live Wire, I did not read that.
Live Wires was cool. It was about a bunch
the
of
group, right?
They were like robots. They were just like robot LMD.
Oh, Adam Warren did that one, right?
He did the whole.
Is that
fucking
the Valorant book?
Nope.
No. Live Wire is a Valiant book though.
But this was like
just Live Wires or something.
Yeah, it was just a weird mini.
I have no idea what this is.
It was the Tsunami line, but basically it's what Runaways was like the only real hit from the whole thing.
It's
Oh yeah, the BKV one, right?
The
Yeah.
BKV.
It's what all those crossovers are made to do. You throw a ton of shit at the wall. You get a bunch of new creators working on stuff. You hope one of them can stick around for 24 issues.
And then BKV said, "See you later, bitches." And then he went and did Y, and now he said to you all. And
Hey, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the Why the Last Man trailer?
I didn't see it.
I think people are gonna fucking hate it.
Dude, did you hear?
What?
All right, I don't want to this is not.
Oh, I'm not getting into it. Yeah, I think I did hear it. I'm not getting.
You
into
do
it,
know,
though.
don't you?
Yeah, I'm not getting
Is
into it.
it-
But I think people are gonna. I think here's the thing: is that I think Why the Last Man came out at a different time in culture, and I think I think the subject is going to be too divisive for people to enjoy without. It's just going to inspire too much craziness, and who knows? Maybe it'll stick around, and people. Why the Last Man is a great book with a great
I know
reputation.
exactly what you're talking about now.
We're
I'm not gonna
beating
get
around
into
the bush purposely, Jimmy, because we are good people here.
I'm not getting into it.
Oh,
Having
not
said
me,
that,
who comes out
having said that, we're
straightforward.
good people here. I really think that a tonal change has to occur in the story for that to occur. You know?
I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that's different with it. Tell you what I'm dreading.
But it
I'm-
was so simple.
It doesn't
The
make
elegance
sense.
of the thing was how
I'll
simple
beat the
it
bush all
was.
day, Jerry. Jerry, I'll beat the bush all day.
It doesn't make sense. It's not.
It doesn't matter. I'm not getting into it.
biologically correct.
I'm dipping out of here. If
Yeah, in fact,
Oh,
we're
yeah, we can change.
let me just do this before anything. Don't leave just yet.
I'm not
Max is like, I hate this Jimmy guy now.
no,
He
it
doesn't. Yeah, it's almost the end of the show. Everybody, Max, get out of here if you want to.
No,
I'm gonna
we're
thank
not.
my. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna thank my patrons. Thank you very much. You can follow the link in the description down below. We have also a link for Jimmy's channel, and we will have one for Max's link tree or whatever that was.
Anime Death Ray, baby. Look us up on Spotify, SoundCloud.
I listen to all my podcasts on Spotify.
Oh, I love you, baby.
I listen to Jim Cornette.
Oh,
I
me
listen
too.
to you, and I listen to Sci-Fi Fantasy Read Along. That's right,
dude. Hey, it was awesome. I love talking comics. I'll be back, yo.
Hey, Jimmy, man, we really enjoyed having you. I didn't want to really get too deep into all that other stuff, but I really
I'm
appreciate.
so done with it.
Oh, I know. I could imagine. I just really wanted to have you on and talk comics and have a fun time.
Hey, I
Since
appreciate
I know
it.
you've
It's
been
fun.
having a shit time of it lately.
You have no idea.
Yeah, but now you're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
Not to dox
I
you
had to
or
think about it for a second.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know I don't have you necessarily really late. I have a lot of people when I have them on, sometimes they're on the East Coast, and I feel horrible, but they're so accommodating. You got to abuse them anyway.
So here's the thing. At nights, it's way better to stream. And then you got Wes's channel. They're like, I want you to be here at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm like, dude, that is 6 a.m. my time. What are you talking about?
I take showers in the evening to go on Wes's show in the morning. I wake up and I make coffee.
I have to wake up even earlier so I could actually take a shower because I don't like taking showers at night unless I do a lot of work that day because I just feel
I hear you.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living right now?
Oh, I work with special needs kids.
Oh yeah, you said that. I think you said it on the video that I saw.
Oh, is it the one?
The most recent one?
Yeah.
But anyway, so you work with special needs kids.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so much fun. I recently got it full time, because I'm not even what's the word? Don't have the education for it yet, and but they still gave me full time and a pay increase. So I was like, hell yeah!
Awesome.
You want to hear a funny story? Because I can give you a
please do.
really, really funny story.
I love funny stories, so we're gonna really grade you on this now.
So what? Okay, so I have this kid. I can't remember his name. It was a little bit ago, but I don't have him anymore. He has Down syndrome and he's autistic as well. So we were driving up to a park, and when we get to the park, we're turning the corner, and there's these two old, very elderly ladies walking, and we're about to drive past them, and it's a hot day, so our windows are down. So right before he looks at them, and then looks at me, and then looks at them, and then looks at me, and I said, "Don't you say a word." Right as we pass, he looks out the window, screaming, "Make me a cake!"
Wow.
You know how embarrassing that is?
No, you got bulletproof shield there. It's an embarrassment-free shield there.
Oh man, I could have died right then and there.
Hell, that's hilarious. Do you take comic books to them?
Yes, I do. Some of them. One of them actually really, really enjoyed Donny Cates's Thor run until I stopped buying it, and then I stopped having him. But to the point where like he called. Remember, I think it was issue 7. He called the number on Thor's hammer, and
really
talked to Tony Stark. So he actually thought he was talking to Tony Stark for a while.
Funny.
So that was, and then like I put it on Twitter saying like, "Hey, Donny Cates, someone really likes your book." And then he was like, "That's exactly what we write comics for." And I'm just like, dude. Oh, Brian Bendis sent that same kid a Legion ring.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the kid, some kids really like comic books. And it's nice.
I made a video on that Iron Man number on the Thor hammer, and it did like my highest views of anything I've done. Like thousands, I'm like, what? This was the easiest thing to do.
Speaking of, like, my worst video I ever did is the highest views on my channel. It has like 2.3K, and I'm just like, oh my god! Like,
please subscribe and give me a thumbs up.
and the funny thing is, if you look at like the analytics of the video, the average duration of viewer who watches it is like 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And then they're just like, "No, we're done."
We're done.
and like, dude, my last video, just the most recent one about Dan Slott, I gave the most clickbait thumbnail and title ever. Like almost, I think I'm close to 200 views, and it was like a single day. I was just like, oh my god, it was like 180
weird.
Or something.
It's weird. Don't forget to put your tags in.
Oh,
you gotta get all those tags in. Make sure Dan Slaughter Bloctavius. He's blocked me too, but I deserved it. I said something about him boring me. I said something like, "Oh, now I can be bored twice a month," or something like that. I was a jerk.
You're talking about Iron Man and his Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's probably something like that. It was very underwhelming, and I do like Dan Slott, so I felt like
his FF is actually kind of solid.
It's all right. It's not so bad. It's
not bad, but it's not good or great.
I enjoyed Sky.
Solid.
I kind of feel like that Johnny thing, they can rehabilitate him maybe, but we'll see.
Dude, and plus like you got Assad Rabiq on the covers, which is always
he's good.
Thank you. He actually, I went out of my way to buy a copy, like 2 copies of was the Doctor Doom Assad Rabiq cover, where it was just, dude, if you look into the face of evil, that is the cover.
Well, Rabiq is great, of course. I love his work, and we were just talking about Thor earlier. His work with Jason Aaron was
God
fantastic.
of Thunder is actually God of Thunder. His God of Thunder with Gore, the God Butcher, is my favorite Marvel story ever. Like, I will read that to the day I die.
That's pretty good. I'm going to give you a couple later. We'll see. See if I can't beat you on that one.
All right.
I mean, it'll be great because you'll have so many awesome things to be heaped on you that you get to enjoy later on.
I don't think I'm going to be reading Tsunami. I'm sorry.
Well, The Runaways is fantastic.
I do actually. I have wanted to read that because I do hear that it was actually pretty good, the BKB thing. And didn't that story turn into a TV show?
Well, they did a TV show of the Runaways, but I can't remember. I didn't watch it. I try not to watch TV like that if I can help it. It's just if I like something, I don't know if I normally want to see like a different representation of it. I don't really read a book and then think, oh, I want to see the movie of it. I know there's a lot of people that do, and I don't have any problems with that. But, things in a certain medium don't always translate. And that's why, the things that you like in one thing is, like think about how costumes get changed in comic books to movies. Now, you can say that's a very minor thing, but if that's the thing you dig about comic books, you don't get that serviced in the movies for various reasons. It doesn't just have to be some anime or something.
Like Doctor Who is like one of my favorite. It is my favorite TV show or movie. Anything is Doctor Who is my favorite thing, and I don't think it could be transferred into comics that well. And
Right.
I stood by it
Mhm.
until Jodie Hauser is actually writing some Doctor Who right now. And holy crap, she changed my mind on that, and she changed my mind on her being a good writer.
Well, that's fine. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. What about? Well, I mean, Alan Moore wrote Doctor Who back in the 80s, I think, and it was.
And I
Tom
just
Baker
found
one.
out about that, and he's one of my favorite writers, so I have to go out and find it somewhere.
I remember not really caring, but I think my love of Doctor Who was more a fantasy than a reality. A lot, I dig the Tom Baker stuff, but I'm not like a Doctor Who head, I guess. A Whovian.
So you're not me then.
I'm no
Cool.
Whovian.
I'm a total Whovian. I'm saving canvas on my arms for some Doctor Who tattoos.
Oh,
So-
damn. All right. Well, we'll talk about this on the other side. Let me say thank you to everybody that tuned in and are still here. We really appreciate it. Make sure you follow Jimmy. He's going to have a real big interview with a real big time dude in Douglas Ernst. So make sure you check them out. What day is that going to be?
It's not going to be for a couple weeks.
Oh, it's taped. You're going to tape it. That's right.
Yeah, it's not.
It'll
gonna
be
for a couple
taped, but be on the lookout. And if they want to follow you on social media, what is it?
I really only have Twitter, and that's Josh_Quirky, QUIRKY.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. And for everybody else, we'll see you next week. Bye.